going on, everyone? So another game, another Cam Reddish standout. So Cam Reddish played his former team. It was a brief stint, but still former team in the Portland Trail Blazers, and was a real standout. This was a great team win in general. Obviously, they didn't have LeBron James, so everyone had to chip in, especially for a team that has been the worst in the league without LeBron James on the basketball court. I mean, it's been unwatchable when LeBron's not on the court. And I thought that this would be a real opportunity for the Lakers to kind of right the ship. And so far, they did. Granted, we will see how they continue to progress. But one major standout, once again, was Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish played 38 minutes this game, so no question about him actually getting minutes, especially without LeBron James. And he's had to kind of step into that Jared Vanderbilt role. Obviously, there's no replacing just the elite level that Jared Vanderbilt provides defensively, but Cam Reddish has done about as good of a job as possible, right? Like, there's very few people that can have the impact on the defense side of the basketball as Cam Reddish. But it's been the offensive side, right? He's had a very nice balance. And we saw in that Portland game, Cam Reddish gave you 18 points, 7 rebounds, which was huge. That's what Jared Vanderbilt provided, was the rebounding. And Cam Reddish, with his size, his length, and athleticism, 6'8", 7'1" wingspan, hyper athlete, you got to see him use some of that on both sides of the court, and that was great to see. He was 7 of 10 from the field and only 3 threes. He was 1 of 3 from 3, but he only took 3 threes, which meant he was being aggressive, getting to the basket. I mean, the Lakers as a whole didn't take a ton of threes. They were 4 of 19 from 3-point range, which is good, right? I mean, don't settle. You had a team like Portland that had no real interior, and the Lakers took advantage from, Davis to Prince to Rui to D'Lo to Reeves to Cam Reddish. And it's been what he did on the defense side as well. I mean, obviously the box score shows, hey, he got 3 steals, he got a block, but it was just all the other things, the disruptions, right? The just deterrent, the ability to just get the ball out of players' hands or to deny the entry pass, and all those little things that are very important. Big factor that led to the Lakers win yesterday. And you saw him once again do the same thing in the Phoenix Suns game, right? In the Suns game, he once again gave you 17 points in that game, 5 of 10 from the field, but 5 of 8 from 3. He also once again gave you 3 steals. The guy has just been getting after it defensively, having the toughest defensive assignment night in and night out, and has really lived up to it, which is great considering, he went from the Miami Heat game, right, where in that game, he had the opportunity to hit the game winner and failed to do so. And that was unfortunate, right? A lot of times, especially with young guys, you see them just completely get in their own head, and it gets them down and they perform very poorly, and the Rockets game was nothing major to write home about as far as like a Cam Reddish performance. He did play 25 minutes, but he gave you 7 points, 2 of 7 from the field. Once again, 3 steals. That seems to be a real trend with Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is giving you basically 3 steals a game, but he continued to fight, continued to show, hey, I can deliver on the offensive side too. I'm not going to get in my own head. I'm not going to, let that missed shot, deter me. And, credit LeBron James, credit Austin Reeves, credit the team as a whole, Darvin Ham, right? Because they told him, stick with it. And you saw in that Suns game, he was hitting huge shot after huge shot after huge shot. He hit like 3 in a row between the third and the fourth quarter, and just really helped us squeeze out that win against the Phoenix Suns. And then to follow that up, after getting the start in the Suns game, following that up with a start against the Blazers and delivering the same performance. But this time it was a better array. And one of the things that surprisingly has been a concern with Cam Reddish is his ability to put the ball on the floor and one, get to the basket, as well as, control the ball and not turn it over, which is odd because that's kind of always been a big strength of his, right? Most of his scoring, because he's never really been a great three-point shooter, a lot of his offense comes from him just kind of using his athleticism to get into the rim and finishing over contact or pulling up and hitting that little elbow or the mid-range or whatever. And he really seemed to struggle up until these last few games, right? And I don't want to put too much pressure on him, right? I'm not expecting him to go and give us 17 to 18 points a game. I just don't see that happening. One, I think once everybody's healthy, I don't see him playing, 30 to 38 minutes a game. I don't. But what he does is he gives you another sort of weapon in your arsenal on both sides of the basketball. And once you do get healthy, if Cam Reddish can provide just some consistency and stability on the offensive side of the ball, then that's going to be huge, and I mean huge, for the Lakers. And I do think that there is a real argument to be made to have him start alongside Jared Vanderbilt if, again, he can give you consistent offense. Because imagine that type of defense with like a D'Lo, Reddish, Vando, LeBron, and AD. I mean, Vando and AD alone make you the best defense in the league. If you add in Cam Reddish and the level of defense he's played, you're probably far and away the best defensive team in the league. And all that size and switchability and versatility, I mean, it would be massive for the Lakers. Massive. And Cam Reddish has to, the thing is, he's going to have to keep proving it, right? I hope he doesn't get content. I hope he doesn't feel like, okay, well, I'm starting now and I'm there. No, he's got to keep working and working hard. This is a guy that there were genuine questions of, would he even see the court at all? And now he's starting and playing 38 minutes and giving you 18.7 rebounds, 2 assists, and averaging 3 steals a game, right? And can he maintain a level of consistency? Not saying 18 points per game consistency, but can he give you 8 to 10 points a game consistently and hit the open shot consistently? That's where it's going to lie. Because if he can't hit the open shot consistently, you're not going to be able to play him in the starting unit, which means he's probably not going to get a ton of time playing, period. And that's where you could start seeing the regression from him and his minutes, right? Because Jared Vanderbilt, if he shoots similar to Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt is just elite when it comes to the defensive side of the basketball. I mean, literally, you're talking about arguably, if not the best on-ball perimeter defender in the league. He is, like, Cam Reddish has been excellent. He's still not Jared Vanderbilt. So let's say Cam Reddish shoots 34%, but Jared Vanderbilt shoots 32%. You're playing Jared Vanderbilt 90% of the time. So what Cam Reddish ends up becoming is just like that fill-in when Jared Vanderbilt isn't playing, right? So let's say Jared Vanderbilt gets 25 minutes a game. Maybe you're finding Reddish like 8 to 10 minutes a game. That's a far cry from playing 38 minutes. But if he can consistently knock down the shot, give you 8 to 10 points a game, shoot somewhere, let's say 36%, right? Somebody like Taurean Prince, he can knock down the 3 ball at, say, a 38 to 40% clip, although he has struggled lately. But, he up until these last 2 games, he was around 40%. So if you look at a guy like Prince, he could shoot around 40%, but he's not as good as Cam Reddish has been defensively. Doesn't have the size, the length, the athleticism. Right? So if Prince, let's say, is 38%, but Reddish is 36% or 35%, I think you got to go with Reddish because he gives you that size, that length, that athleticism, the youth, the quickness and speed, right? And now you go from a team that was lacking athleticism in the starting unit to a team that has excellent athleticism between Anthony Davis, Jared Vanderbilt, and Cam Reddish on the defensive side of the basketball. And Jared Vanderbilt and Anthony Davis cover so much ground defensively. And right now you have Cam Reddish trying to fill in that Vanderbilt role and having to defend the best player on the other team on a nightly basis. How do you think Cam Reddish is going to look when he doesn't have to, one, make up as much ground, and two, doesn't have to defend the best player on the other team, but the second best player on the other team? Right? Whoever that is. If Cam Reddish was able to have an impact and effect against guys like a Kawhi Leonard and a Paul George and a Kevin Durant and guys like that, De'Aaron Fox, right? Well, what kind of impact can he have against, like a Desmond Baines or a Jaylen Brown? Or it gives you so much flexibility. I love what we saw from Cam Reddish on both sides of the basketball. He also took care of the basketball, which was a concern, right? He gave you one turnover. I can live with that. I can live with a turnover or two, right? But a concern up until last game was, like, this guy can't seem to dribble and put the ball on the hoop. Like, what's going on? Like, he just seems so clumsy with the basketball. But that was kind of always been his bread and butter. And I mean, even in preseason and like scrimmages and stuff when he was practicing and playing, he was just taking guys off the dribble, using his quickness, using his speed, using his size, again, finishing over contact, finishing over size in the paint, taking guys off the dribble, beating them. All of those things, and it's like, well, where did that go? Like, that's how he's gotten a majority of his points for a guy that shoots, 30% from three. So it's not coming from 3-point range. Well, in this Portland game, you saw that Cam Reddish. And my hope is that becomes the trend again. A guy that can put the ball in the hoop, that doesn't settle, that can just get to the basket at will, right? Because that's something we're missing mightily for the Lakers. That rim pressure, right? Like, that's where a Lonnie Walker or a Dennis Schroeder would be extremely helpful for the Lakers. Extremely helpful. Because the Lakers don't have that guy that can consistently, through athleticism, just create rim pressure and easy looks to the rim and get to the rim at will, right? But, I mean, you have LeBron James, obviously, but even he can't just go whenever you need it, right? He's got to kind of pace himself, and you don't want to wear him down, and he kind of is like pacing himself until the fourth quarter. Well, Cam Reddish could be that guy. He's a guy that could easily just apply the pressure and get to the rim. And he's still not shooting great from three. He's shooting 30% from three, which is, again, not great. But 2-point range, he's shooting 52%. And he's shooting 41.1% overall from the field. And he's averaging 7 points per game. Again, can he get that to like 8 to 10? Give you a little better efficiency? Pick up the 3-point shooting a couple percentages? That would be perfect. If he can do that, then I think there's a real argument to be made about his role on this Laker team. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Have you been impressed with Cam Reddish? Again, obviously, I want to see him continue to be consistent. He's had his inconsistencies. He's on a 2-game stretch. Does that cool down, right? It's a thought. But anyway, again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below.